Here we go, guys. The main event of the evening. Volkanovski taking on Diego Lopes. So we'll see what happens. Oh, shit! All right, here we go, boys. We have Bryce Mitchell in the octagon, ready to exercise these demons that he's been seeing and take care of John Silva. Let's see what happens, man. Uh-oh, he got the cross going. There it is. Oh, this way, this way, this way. Okay, let's see what happens here. I am pumped for this one. Oh, shit! Oh! Oh, he wants to knock him out cold. Oh, shit! Oh! Damn. They were gonna count that as a takedown because that was not a takedown. Wow. Did not expect that submission. I was expecting a knockout. Wow. Yeah, he's super athletic and he's super explosive and he has a great ground game. Oh. All right, here we go, boys. Paddy the Baddy taking on Michael Chandler. It's kind of crazy. Last time Michael Chandler won a fight was against Tony Ferguson. Michael Chandler, he's 1-4 at his last 5. Right, here we go. Flying triangle, here it comes. Yep, flying triangle, I called it, I knew it. See, and this is the thing I feel like from Chandler is that he doesn't take time to get better as an athlete where it's okay, angle, it's more, I feel like for him, it's like, go, 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 go. Where he's having a hard time just gauging everything he does is full. Looks like he's slowing down a little bit. I think this is a 5-round fight. Henry Cejudo had that fight, first round for Chandler. Jesus, Henry, you know better than that. Ah, Chandler's getting fucked up. No, Paddy's not even breathing hard. Like I said, guys, I think if you give Paddy 3 more years and he gets his striking even more cleaner, there's no reason why he can't be a world champion at 155. He's 30 years old. Give him 3 more years. As long as he stays healthy, I can see him being a champion. Damn. Then you stop it. Stop that shit. Stop it, dog. Fuck. Yeah, like I said, I think Paddy could be a champion. If he takes his time, works on his stand-up, he's got great ground, he's very well conditioned, didn't even work hard in that fight. All it takes to be a champion is to get to the right path to the title. Yeah, great fight by Paddy, man. He looked great, looked phenomenal. Whoa, what the hell was that? Guys, sorry for the technical difficulties, but let's get back to the fights. Whew. That was the main event of the evening. Volkanovski taking on Diego Lopes. Once somebody gets knocked out multiple times, the brain realizes something's going on, it shuts down, and the body just goes limp. So this could happen, and that's why I went with Diego Lopes, because he is younger, faster. He's gonna be looking to push the pace. So we'll see what happens. Boy! He's allowing Volkanovski to dictate the pace, and he hasn't shot for a takedown whatsoever. Like, he's allowing Volk to come in and do his thing and get out. Do his thing and get out. And when Volk gets in there exchanging, he's starting the firefight, and his bullets are landing a lot more than Diego. Big round for Volkanovski. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! That's what I'm worried about. That's the only thing I'm worried about in this fight, is that Volk has to be perfect for 25 minutes straight. And all it takes is one shot when they get in that shootout. Diego just pushes it, and forces that firefight. That's where he's gonna be successful. But when he tries to play technique for technique, Volk is just way faster and better. Volk can keep him like startled the whole time, because he's trying to figure out what he's gonna do instead of like, I'm just gonna fight you. Like, I'm gonna fight you, I'll figure out as we're fighting. Volk's doing what he needs. Volk's doing a great job of just navigating the treacherous forest. I think Diego's letting us get away from him because Volk's doing a good job of stifling him. All right, final round. Diego's got to focus on, instead of trying to get the crowd hyped up, it's just go fight. Because he's about to lose the opportunity to be a world champion. He has to finish. If he doesn't finish, he lost. Volk was perfect for 24 minutes. Yeah, Volk got that easily. That was an easy fight for Volk. I think that people don't understand that, like, Volk was doing a good job of constantly turning, and then he would feint, and then Diego would just, I felt Diego was almost confused of like, how do I navigate this? Because each time Volk would hit with the jab, boom, gone, jab, boom, gone, and then he would catch. The beautiful thing that he did that was very, very good was he would show that right kick, and when he would go to check, he would go check down, and it would beautiful right hand. But masterclass from Volkanovski. I did not think he would be able to do it. I didn't think he would look this clean. And what's the word? It was almost that motherfucker found the youth. Let's get an officer cooking up for you boys. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you guys knew that I had prize picks going on in this event. If you guys don't know what prize picks is, prize picks is a daily fantasy sports game where you can play directly from your phone. It's very simple. Go to your app store, download prize picks. When you do that, use my promo code MIGHTY. Cool promotion going on right now. If you play $5 and make your lineup, whether it's in mixed martial arts, NBA, NHL, they got it. You're gonna win $50. And boys, we came so close, but so far. We had, I went with Julian Rosa. Less fight time. I knew someone was gonna get knocked out. Darren Elkin takes a lot of shots, and I knew Julian Rosa was gonna be able to find his shot. And then Dan Ige, we took 0 takedowns from him. He's looking for that dynamite Ige. He's looking for that 50K bonus. And then we also took Bryce Mitchell. I knew he was gonna be able to take him down more than 2 or 3 times because he's super athletic, and he knew that was the only way Bryce Mitchell could get it done. So 3 W's there. And then where I dropped the ball, I didn't really drop the ball. Alex Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. I thought I went less with the fight time, 23.5 minutes. I felt someone was gonna get knocked out. I almost felt anticlimactic when the fight happened because nobody got knocked out, because I felt like someone was gonna get knocked out. But boys, I had a good time. I was at the edge of my seat because I locked in my picks at the right place, which is Prize Picks, and you guys do the same thing. Boom, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We just got done watching Alex Volkanovski take on Diego Lopes at UFC 314. Great card from top to bottom. Okay, let's get to the first fight of the night of the card. Dominick Reyes is back on track after getting a beautiful walking backwards, beautiful right hand check, knocks out his opponent and finishes him. A lot of people thought Dominick Reyes was robbed when he fought John Jones. That fight happened so long ago, I can't even remember it. But I do remember, Dominick Reyes doing a good job of actually taking the fight to John Jones, but he came up short. But this is a good fight for him to bounce back into the win column and obviously start his journey back to the world title fight at light heavyweight. Okay, then after that, we had Bryce Mitchell taking on Gene Silva. Now, this is one of the most fights I was hyped about just because all the back and forth, trash talk going back and forth. Now, I knew going to this fight, Gene Silva was going to be more athletic, more explosive, and have the punch and power. But I was so moved by Bryce Mitchell's crusade about trying to weed out the demons in his dreams and put down the dog in Gene Silva. But unfortunately, I got that one wrong. The one thing I would say Gene Silva did a good job with is when you know you have the punch and power over your opponent, when you clearly know you can rock your opponent and hit harder than him, and you can take a shot, you constantly press the void and walk across it and force that exchange. Now, there was a time where, Bryce Mitchell did shoot in and Gene had that beautiful guillotine. It was super deep. A lot of people thought he was gonna go out, but Bryce Mitchell said a prayer and got out of there. The Lord let them out of there. And then it went to the second round. And then that's where Gene Silva kept always threatening. Each time Bryce Mitchell put his head down there, he would always go for that ninja choke or the guillotine. And then eventually Gene Silva found the ninja choke and put Bryce Mitchell to sleep, sent him to the shadow realm, and Gene Silva was able to walk out of there, clean, didn't really take any damage whatsoever. Now, do I think he could be a potential, fight top 15, top 10? Absolutely. Do I see him as a future champion? I have to see him fight more competition, more guys who are just as athletic as him, who is just as savvy as him, to see where his career would take off. But congrats to Gene Silva. I got that one wrong. I was just so moved by Bryce Mitchell's words, and I felt the Lord was going to guide him to a W, but I got it wrong. Okay, now let's move on to the next fight. Patricio Pitbull taking on Yair Rodriguez. Now, I saw Pitbull fight before he got this fight against Jeremy Kennedy, and it looked exactly like that Pitbull. He waits outside that void, and they call borders, and they wait. When they come across, they fire. Or if Yair throws a jab, he's going to try to fire over the top. You see a lot of these guys, what's Chandler's name? Michael Chandler is kind of like one of them. They kind of wait, and they kind of have a hard time fighting to get across the void. I've done it my whole career, and I feel like the very end of my career, I finally mastered it. And it's basically going in there doing stop hands. Walk your opponent down and force the clinch, force the wrestling, force that. When they run, then you try to hit them when they get out of there. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to get a W tonight. One of the things that Yair Rodriguez did very well is, he was very mature, very calm, very, very calm. Throwing the body kick, throwing some, crazy kicks here and there, but he was super calm, using the range and his longest weapon, which was his kicks. He got so many free body kicks from the Southpaw to Orthodox that there was nothing that Pitbull could do because he couldn't get to him. Right? I think Pitbull maybe had one good thing, but he tends to let wins get away from him. If you go back and watch the Sergio Pettis fight, it was almost the same thing. He just couldn't get off on his opponents. Now, if this was 4 or 5 years earlier, I think it could have been a different fight because he was more aggressive about forcing the fight. Now, let's get to the next fight. This was the fight I was most excited about. Paddy Pimblett versus Michael Chandler. I did a breakdown video of Paddy Pimblett, and I said I believe this man could be the champion one day. The reason why I say that is that he can pretty much do it all. He doesn't have the cleanest striking, but either is Dricus du Plessis. People have a hard time dealing with him on the feet, especially on the ground. Now, Michael Chandler has not had the best career in the UFC, meaning that he gets these opportunities to win big fights and he comes up short. The last time Michael Chandler won a fight was against Tony Ferguson, and by that time Tony Ferguson was not the boogeyman. He was a shell of himself, lack of a better word. But when you look at this fight, Chandler has a hard time getting to his opponents because he is a shorter on that division. He doesn't move around and walk in with, stop hands, and he doesn't use his body kicks to get there. He tends to wade in like Iron Mike Tyson, and that's when Paddy Pimblett was able to land that beautiful knee right there, cut him right on the arm, right on the face. And Paddy Pimblett does a good job of being tall, so when he does get hit, it's not very flush because he's not down hunkering tight. You see a lot of guys do, they go nice and tight, and when you get hit there, you're stiff. Some guys can take it, some guys can't. But Paddy Pimblett does a good job of creating scrambles. He went for the Kimura. Paddy went for the Kimura, and then you saw Michael Chandler let go of his hands. And then when it went to the clinch, Paddy Pimblett jumps for the flying triangle. Now, even though he did miss the flying triangle, he was able to use the flying triangle to get back up to his feet and separate and get back on the striking campaign that he was putting on Michael Chandler. Now, I think Paddy Pimblett has the sky's limit. He's only 30 years old. You give him 3 more years in that division, Islam Makhachev is going to be gone. He's going to be 36 years old, or he might be a welterweight. I just don't see anybody beating him anytime soon. Now, it'd be a great fight versus Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, and all those guys. I think he can truly beat those guys just because he has that. He can take a shot, he's willing to scramble, and he's willing to fight. And for that, I give him the Mighty Award of the night. Out of all the fights, I think he was probably the most, he was the athlete I was most impressed by because I truly feel like he keeps on getting better. So we got that one right. In my whole lineup, I said Bryce Mitchell's going to win, Yair Rodriguez is going to win, Paddy's going to win, and Diego Lopes. So I got 2 for 2. Not bad, not bad, not bad. I should have went with Gene Silva for being more athletic, but the Lord had me with Bryce Mitchell. Okay, now let us get to the main event. Alex Volkanovski taking on Diego Lopes. Now in this fight, I went with Diego Lopes. The reason why is because I felt Alex Volkanovski had to be perfect for 25 minutes. And was his ass not perfect? He was perfect for 25 minutes. I'll say 24. He did get dropped once, but that's the biggest thing I was worried about. For someone who gets knocked out twice after his, his last 2 fights against Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, I expected him to be gun shy, and if he was to get tested in that chin, he would go to sleep. And that wasn't the case. The one thing Alex Volkanovski did very well is he kept on circling. He kept on circling constantly, and then he would get in, fire, get out. Get in, fire, and get out. And then he was doing a good job with the feints and stifling Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes would just get to the edge of the void and move his head, and then Diego Lopes like, punch me, and he'll eat the shots, but eating shots doesn't win the fights. Now, when Diego Lopes had Alex Volkanovski on his heels, that's when Alex Volkanovski is his most vulnerable. You look when he fought Islam. You look when he fought Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria would just eat those shots, boom, catch and walk him down. I want to see this version of Alex Volkanovski fight Ilia Topuria because I think the fight could be different, or is Ilia Topuria going to find that mark? That's the fight I truly want to see next. But let's get back to breaking down that fight versus Diego Lopes and Alex. And Alex does a good job of chipping away inside, body, high, and his exchange. And he dropped Diego Lopes a couple times. Now, there was a little bit back and forth with like the gloves going in Diego's eyes. It's part of the fucking game, man. There's always going to be eye pokes, and stuff hitting people's eyes just because it's mixed martial arts. You're never going to get away from it. Now, what do I want to see from both these guys? Diego Lopes, he's still young. I think he said he's only been in the UFC for 2 years. I'd like to see him work more on his stand-up, work more on understanding the void, how to get across, how to open your opponent up, because he is longer than a lot of people. But Alex Volkanovski does a good job of outstriking people, even though they are bigger than him. So, but once again, Diego Lopes is still young. He has plenty of time to grow. He's a fan favorite. People love him. We're going to see him back. Now, here's the thing. What do we want to see next for Alex Volkanovski? Now that Alex Volkanovski is a champion again, and now that Ilia Topuria is up at 155, it's kind of like, oh, God, that's the fight I really want to see. Do I want to see Alex Volkanovski beat Movsar? I think Movsar, it won't be fast enough to catch Alex Volkanovski. I think Alex Volkanovski is going to just move around, pot shot him with that beautiful jab he's got, and just move on angles. And I just don't think he's going to be able to, Movsar is going to be able to keep up. Aljamain Sterling versus Alex Volkanovski, that'll be a fun fight. I think they train together over in Australia, Thailand. That'd be kind of interesting. I will give Aljamain Sterling probably the grappling advantage because he's bigger and longer. And then other than that, I just don't really know who I want to see Alex Volkanovski fight next in the division. When I sit back and I think about the division, I just think about Ilia Topuria. That's all I can think about is Ilia Topuria. Max Holloway's up at 155 now. A lot of the guys who were at 145 are at 155 now just because they're type kind of weight. So you got Aljamain Sterling and you got Movsar, and we will see what happens. So boys, if you guys enjoyed this breakdown or the instant reaction, please leave a like, subscribe. Also, hit the bell to know when we go live next time. And like I said, I don't get it right all the time, boys. I did not know that Alex Volkanovski was going to show up the way he did. He looks so damn impressive. I will love to see him run it back with Ilia Topuria. But maybe we'll get it. Maybe Ilia Topuria will come down and say, hey, you know what? Maybe when I beat 155, if I become the champion there, I'll come down and try to be double champ because they don't allow that to happen anymore. Come back here on Monday as we'll do the void breakdown of Alex Volkanovski, how he moves so much on the angles and the footwork and the pop and the jab. And he battled adversity in that fight. He's battled adversity his last 3 fights, and he came out victorious. So, boys, we will see you guys at the next video.